Sorry, one piece of hair is in my vision. She's gonna be sitting right here and I'm gonna notice her the entire... Bye, bitch. You may have noticed, new hair color. I've been wanting to dye my hair like some fun, funky color for like no less than 10 years. But I always had some reason like, oh, you need a job, or you can't get one if you have pink hair, or you will not book a commercial, or you know, yesterday I was like, screw it. You've been wanting to do it for so long. This is the year of Lauren. Go. Initially, I got splat hair color and that shit did not work. Like, I tried to just dye a chunk. I was gonna do the whole head originally. And I just dyed a chunk and it just came out like gray, like some mottled gray death color. It was horrible. So I ran 2 miles to Sally Beauty because I have no vehicle, you guys know this. And then I got the hair dye and I came home and I dyed my whole head and most of my body and my entire scalp. And you guys know that I have an issue with doctors, and I have not been to an optometrist in probably like 15 years, I think, something like that. I vaguely remember when I was like a small nugget version of myself looking into the things and being like, E, F, K, M, M, you know, whatever. So I was a little bit afraid. And I know they had to do the dilation eye drops. I don't think they did, I don't know. Did they do anything? What if they found out that like I was going blind quickly or I had parasites? You know, I was like, oh shit, I just didn't know, you know, what was going on. And I also was just like afraid, and I just don't know much about eye doctors, so I didn't know what they were gonna do, if they were gonna probe my eyes or anything. So I'm like, okay, calm down. So the lady brings me back into this room and it's full of these like high-tech machines. So I sit down in the chair and she's like, okay, she takes my blood pressure with this like mobile blood pressure device, y'all. Like, it wasn't the little squeeze pumper. She just like put it on and she's like, move your arm up over your heart. And I was like, and it just like did it. And then it was crazy. She's like, put your chin in the thing and then put your forehead up against it. So I did that. And she's like, look in here. So I looked, and she said that there's an image that's going to be going in and out of focus. And so I didn't know if I had to be like, oh, it's in focus, out of focus, it's in, it's out. You know, I didn't know, and that worries me because I don't want to accidentally like say the wrong thing and then end up getting a bad prescription based on my poor judgment. And I'm waiting for her to be like, okay, tell me when it's blurry, because it was just going like in and out, and I'm like, whoa. And apparently we're living in the future right now, because it just it like looked at my eyes and read what was happening. And she's like, oh yeah, we'll just send that to the doctor. And I'm like, oh, wait a second, what? And I'm like, I haven't been to an optometrist in 15 years, and this is the most high-tech stuff I've ever seen. I'm like, that literally just recorded my eyeballs and knows what's going on? She's like, yeah. And she was laughing at me. Sometimes I like to think it's because I make good jokes or like I'm humorous, but I also think it's probably because I'm awkward. Because I was like legitimately like, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. She was like, oh, can you read these letters? And I was like, fucking no, I can't. And then the doctor comes in and he was reading through my like pamphlet, you know, like he's like, oh, you haven't been to the optometrist in 15 years. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, I kind of have a fear of doctors, so that's why I don't go. I don't actually go to a lot of doctors that many times, and so I just haven't been to the optometrist in a long time. And I just hope that I just having a little bit of like vision issues, I think. So maybe like sometimes at the end of the day, or like when I drive, basically talking 1,000 miles a minute, making no sense. And he's just kind of like, haha, like awkward laughing at me. I'm like, we're bros, right? Haha. Eventually, probably because I just blurted it out, get on the subject of like video games. Cause I'm like, yeah, I think maybe like, since I play like 10-hour video game days and I'm trying to learn how to code, that maybe I'm just like ruining my eyes with the computer. And he's like, that actually could happen. And then he's like, what games do you play? And I'm like, so I start talking up like The Long Dark, and I'm like giving him this pitch, and he's like giggling at me. We're like bonding over video games and everything. And not that he didn't even say that he played any, but then I was like going on and on about how afraid I've been of doctors, because he's like, okay, now don't wait 15 years before the next time you go in. P.S. I was diagnosed with astigmatism in both orbs, so I'm gonna get some glasses probably. He told me that he's like, oh, you just need to find like really cool doctors. And I was like, yeah, dude, I do. And I also have an issue of like duding people like all the time. Cause that's what I call everybody dude. I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you know, like I just use that word all the time, but I'll use that word like probably, I think that maybe you shouldn't be duding like doctors. But he seems like he would be okay with being duded, but it also is subconscious. Hey, here I am. So I did dude the guy, and I was maybe a little bit too colloquial with him, so I'm a little bit worried about that. But I probably knew that I wasn't going to get my prescription filled there because it would be expensive, so I was just going to go to some cheap place. So I asked for my prescription, but then they're like, oh, well, we'll show you the glasses anyways. And the lady that was selling me glasses was obviously really good at her job. I wanted to buy like every glass. Because she was like, oh my God, that hair color is so nice on you. I'm like, yeah, it is pretty cool, but I did dye my entire scalp. Oh shit, I almost showed you. I'm like, I did dye my entire scalp pink. And so again, I'm like revealing this information that she probably does not care about. She's just trying to like idly compliment me to make me feel good about myself. And it kind of worked. So every glasses that she put on me, she's like, oh yeah. She's like, you have such high cheekbones. Make sure that you don't get glasses too big so they don't rest on your cheeks. Like, oh yeah, you want ones with this shape. And she's like, oh, these look great on you. Oh, you look good in every glasses. And I'm just like, oh, I'm so beautiful.